Clerk will report the title of the bill.
Union Calendar Number 95, H.R. 1405, a bill to amend Title 38 United States Code to require the Secretary of Veterans Affairs to include an appeals form in any notice of decision issued for the denial of the benefits sought.
Pursuant to the rule, the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Miller, and the gentlewoman from Nevada, Ms. Titus, each will control 20 minutes. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Florida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that all members would have 5 legislative days with which to revise and extend their remarks and add any extraneous material they may have on H.R. 1405 as amended.
Without objection, so ordered.
And, Mr. Speaker, I yield myself such time as I might consume.
The gentleman is recognized.
I want to commend Ms. Titus for identifying another step in cleaning up the claims process. Her bill also includes provisions authored by former Sergeant Major of the Minnesota National Guard, Mr. Waltz, to provide honorary veteran status to members of the National Guard and the Reserves. H.R. 1405 would also improve access to veterans' claims information by certain state and local government officials. And finally, the bill would revise the process by which fiduciary agents are assigned and limit the amount of bonuses that can be paid under Chapters 45 and 53 of Title V. Again, I know that there are other members who wish to speak in more detail on provisions of this bill, so at this time, I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman reserves. What purpose does the gentlelady from Nevada seek recognition?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of H.R. 1405 as amended and yield myself such time as I may consume.
The lady is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. I introduced this legislation, H.R. 1405, to improve the Veterans Claims Appeals process. Currently, a veteran must exercise his or her appeals rights before the appeal process formally begins and the VA sends the required forms. H.R. 1405, as amended, requires the VA to include an appeals form with the notice of decision for every claim. This cuts out several steps and speeds up the appeals process. This common sense change will immediately reduce the time frame of the appeals process by 60 days. H.R. 1405 will also allow the VA to provide better customer service to those veterans who are already struggling with significant delays and bureaucratic challenges. This legislation is indeed a common sense improvement that will result in veterans in Southern Nevada receiving the benefits they have earned in a timely fashion. I constantly hear from those veterans in Las Vegas that the process is too complicated and takes too long. This change will eliminate an unnecessary bureaucratic step and speed up the process for those veterans and all our veterans across the country.